Now that we've explored the concept of inputs, we're ready to move on to outputs. Outputs are used in order to create custom events that send data from your component to the outside world. There's a few steps involved in creating our output event and then using it. So what we want to do is send some information from our nested component to our parent component and then display that information in the parent component. So the first thing that we do is we create a property assigned to an output, similar to how we created an input property. The difference is we're using an event emitter. So let's dissect this a little bit. An event emitter is an object that listens for something to happen and then publishes an event when triggered. This is what's known as the observer pattern. So say we create a new event emitter named notify in our child component. Now, our child component has become a publisher and is going to be used to send data up to its parent using the emit method. The parent component now becomes a subscriber to the notify output. And this means that when notify has emitted this send message string, it will be automatically picked up by the parent and can then be used in a method defined in our parent component. The process of setting up an output to send events from child to parent works like this. So first, we open up our child component file and we import output and event emitter from Angular Core. Then we define an output with a decorator followed by a property name. In this case, we'll use the name notify. Notify is of type event emitter. So remember, event emitter is an object. And since it's an object, it also has a type. And that's what these greater than less than symbols known as a generic are doing. It's setting up this event emitter to a type of string. So generic is a feature of TypeScript that simply defines the type of an instance, such as an object instance or a function instance. So we set notify as type event emitter and set it equal to a new instance of event emitter that is of type string, and then we invoke our event emitter using parentheses. We're using a type of string here because we're going to be emitting a value that is a string. But event emitters can be of type any. They can be of type string, number, boolean, or interface, for example. Now we need to set up a method that does something with our output property. So in our child component HTML, when a user clicks a button, we're going to trigger the onClick method. The onClick method will in turn use our notify property and emit a string of message from child. Now there's two steps that we need to take in our parent in order to display our child's message. The first is in our parent HTML file. So inside of our child selector, we need to wrap our notify property in parentheses. So this is our event watcher that gets triggered anytime someone clicks this button in our child. We then set this equal to a method we'll create inside of the parent. This $event parameter stores whatever has been emitted from the child. In this case, it's going to store the message from child string. Now in our parent, we create the onNotifyClicked method. Then inside here, we're just going to set the message we received equal to a property called showMessage. Then we can display our message using interpolation inside of our parent HTML file. So when somebody clicks a button in our child component, we'll see the string message from child inside of this showMessage property inside of our parent. Now let's walk through this process inside of our application.